Greetings, fellow Protoss. Perhaps your brothers have betrayed you. Getting Cannon Rushed is not a fun scenario for many new players, but after watching this episode of Protoss Defense Strategy, we will crush that backstabber and send all of his cannon-making probes home. Here is the first game that will demonstrate how to deal with cannon rushing. I'm the blue Protoss and my opponent is the red Protoss. Rule number 1 that cannon rushers will follow: they send an early scout probe into the enemy base and plant a pylon out of sight from the enemy. Players will always pick a spot to place their first pylon where you can't see it. It is therefore always important to check such areas when you suspect a cannon rush or Gs of any kind from Protoss. This particular player also decides to build the forge in my base. This way he doesn't have to waste minerals on putting a pylon in his own base. When my scouting probe gets into the enemy base, I see nothing but probes mining minerals. This is the biggest indication that cheese of some kind is about to happen, and you need to immediately scout around for pylons. Check all areas that are under the fog of war. Here's me checking my natural expansion area, but I unfortunately have not checked my main in time before the first cannon goes down. Rule number 1 for victims of cannon rushes: don't panic. As long as you know what to do, you can still win in most situations because you have way more technology than your opponent. The first thing you need to do is build a forge of your own so you can build cannons. Your cannons, you place them wherever the enemy cannons seem to be advancing. This will keep the enemy probe away so he can't put more cannons into your base. Pulling probes to kill structures is okay as long as there isn't much of a threat to said probes. Sometimes you can stop cannon rushing just from killing the first pylon. Don't do that right there. I didn't realize that was a cannon instead of a pylon. And, P.S. Turn off that setting that prevents you from selecting enemy structures and units, and you can see what is being constructed when you select something. Here's my first cannon being placed. Make sure to build far away enough to avoid initial cannon fire. Otherwise your cannons will be killed off before they can kill enemy cannons. If you manage to get combat units out, use them to kill newly placed enemy structures without getting attacked by cannons. This zealot is doing just that. Keep building defenses around your own base until things stagnate into a trench warfare-like scene. Will he win? Nope. Now, don't worry about those cannons in your base, just start sending units over at his base to destroy him. He's likely panicking by actually building things inside his own base. Here he is making a gateway and a cannon at the front. I place a proxy pylon for good reinforcement flow. Now I'm heading in, just walk in and dominate. You may think I've just won this game, but in reality this game doesn't end until way later. He manages to have many of his probes escape to make another nexus. I'll save you the time and just say that it was just a bunch of cat and mouse before he finally gave up, realizing the situation could not get any better. I should have predicted how this game would go when I met my opponent, named Cheese Lover, and aptly named he is. Once again, I'm blue and my opponent is red. In this game, the player decides to hide his technology on a distant corner of the map. Here is his forge. Here he comes now, placing the first pylon. As close as that looks, it's actually out of my sight. It's still in the fog of war. He warps in another pylon on the other side, and I immediately know what is going on. Here are the probes that are being pulled to destroy that pylon. 2 more cannons incoming on the other side. I just now placed my forge so I can begin to defend my territory. I have my first zealot, and some probes are taking care of the new cannons. Defending a cannon rush is all about smart decisions. You need clever building placement with your cannons, and a good sense of how to effectively protect your probes. For example, as you see here, it is much more efficient to take out this pylon than to try to kill the 2 nearby cannons. My first cannon is about to come down, and it almost sniped the enemy probe. It's usually hard to kill the enemy probe, but if you can, it will really slow down your enemy. It means he has to send another probe from one side of the map to the other so he can continue his cannon rush. He canceled the buildings that are under cannon fire, and I'm proceeding to destroy his foul machines. Will he win? Nope. The cannon rush is now shut down, and the enemy promptly leaves. So remember that dealing with a cannon rush is about making good decisions. Figure out what you can kill faster to stop cannon fire, don't be afraid to pull probes, and build cannons of your own to ensure your safety. Just like last time, if you would like to analyze these games yourself, you can visit the shown links and download the replay. Good luck out there on the field.